Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is the brother Abdul Kabir Muhammad Al Maliki Al Ash'ari tuned in for another video. Okay, so Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So in this video, I want to do not so much a live reaction, but I want to share my screen with y'all and give y'all an in-depth look at what you shouldn't be doing, especially on in life, on what you shouldn't be doing on Facebook, but no, excuse me, what you shouldn't be doing in life, and especially not on Facebook. Um, um, to try to like speak publicly, uh, we got to be very, 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 very careful. Even when I do these videos, I've been doing these videos. I've been doing videos for a long time, for probably 6 years, 6, 7 years, and I get so nervous every single time before I'm getting ready to do a video. Even after a video, I even always offer people to help me if I've said anything wrong or done anything wrong, and I ain't talking about the hecklers because I'm gonna get with you the hecklers and the Wahhabiya, the Salafiya, whatever y'all want to call yourselves. Not I mean, I'll take the help, I'll take the nasiha from anybody, but my guard is up with when if if any of y'all coming, and especially if it's coming with criticism, you know what I mean? So yeah. I mean, I get real nervous with these videos. A lot of times I get so stressed out that I want to make sure that I'm saying the right thing. I definitely always want to make sure that my life reflects Islam and that I'm doing the right thing. And I shut it down for like, man, until I can't take it no more. But alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has trusted me to know a thing or two. Uh, so I'm just trying to share it and pay it forward. But today's topic is I want to start the conversation of people not so much become a certified, because everybody ain't gonna get a ijaza or be able to sit and have intimate time with a sheikh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I have. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make me sincere and keep me sincere and count me amongst the sincere on the day of judgment. I mean, and I'm just trying to share it and pay it forward, because that knowledge that is at the mountaintop, so to speak, in Islam is very, very uh, hard to get, and especially very hard to get. It's like a needle in a haystack on the internet. So that's what my position is, and that's what my take on all this is. But I want to show y'all this brother. This is a Salafi brother. The Salafi brothers and sisters, man, they are so prolific with sharing the memes that either promote Salafiyah or they're demoting Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Uh, they like extolling their shuyukh. If they mean, alhamdulillah, you'll see a million memes on Facebook and Instagram that come from Al Albani, if they mean, Ben Baz, mostly Ben Baz. You just see all these memes everywhere, and I'm tired of it, because people who don't know no better, and I do a lot of da'wah and I do a lot of tabligh. I have been for at least probably close to 15 years. Been helping new Muslims in Islam be on the straight path and bringing people into Islam. That's what I live for in my community in Cincinnati. Alhamdulillah, I've been doing da'wah for a long, long, long time, since at least 2008. So 2008, 2009. So it makes my job hard, and it makes the job of righteous people very hard when you got the people of Salafiyah all over the internet just sharing wrong knowledge, sharing misguidance. And the Salafi minhaj is so appealing, especially to black folks in America. It's so appealing because it's easy. All you got to do, all you got to do basically is all you got to do is read a couple of pamphlets, and you'll become an imam, or you'll become an ustad, or you become somebody and learn that everybody else on YouTube looks up to. YouTube or Facebook and Instagram, they look up to you because you can post a lot of memes, or you can regurgitate a lot of the dogmas that they have in the Salafi minhaj. We don't take from just one particular madhab. We follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. No, you don't. Not one of y'all do. There's never been a Salafi in the history of Salafism that has followed the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. I think next to Christianity, that is the biggest dupe that Shaitan put on the entire world. Going forward, we take from all four of the madhabs. We don't take just from one of them. We follow the four imams and until they make a mistake, as if you are qualified. Of any of y'all, from Ben Bass all the way to the person who just became Muslim, and you just said that you a Wahhabi or you a Salafi, all of y'all are qualified to check the work of the four imams or the three imams of Aqidah. It's nuts. It's near sickening, and it's a major sin. And I'm gonna prove that with some Quran and Sunnah. According, what everybody always say. All these people always saying, "I don't want it if it ain't Quran and Sunnah. If it ain't Quran and Sunnah, I don't want it." They always saying this stuff, but they not actually looking at Quran and Sunnah. They looking at what Ben Baz, Uthaymin, Al-Albani, they looking at what them guys said. You ain't looking at the Quran and Sunnah. Them guys didn't say what the Quran and Sunnah said. And just because they spit out a hadith or spit out an ayah, that doesn't make what they're saying Quran and Sunnah. Yeah, the ayah that they said is Quran, and the hadith that they said is the Sunnah. But what they do, which is the most deceptive, is they misinterpret the Quran and the Sunnah, and they trick everybody with that. So we're gonna jump into the meat on the bone. I actually offered to speak to this brother privately, and I asked him and he just catching the bullet. I didn't debated Wahhabis on here publicly, and they were arrogant and didn't want to recant and didn't want to make Toba. So I warned against him. So this brother is pretty vigilant. I think he actually is a nice guy. His name is Abu Naima Al-Amriki. On Facebook. I don't know what he is on Instagram, or if he even has a YouTube or whatever, but I hope he see this. I hope he make Toba. I hope he secretly and quietly watch this video and be like, "Dang, the brother really went upside my head." I mean, he looked like he from the neighborhood. You know what I mean? I think he's a West Coast guy. Look like he might be from the hood, or might be, familiar with black culture. So you know what it is. If you violated, you violated, brother. And you on the West Coast, you know the gang lingo. If you violated, you violated. You can't be bigger than a set. You know you can't be. And I hope you see this. I offered to speak to him privately because it was kind of getting out of control on the back and forth on Facebook. I was like, let's holler. And then he's tagging other guys because he couldn't handle the heat. Now I hopped out with that switch on him, and he couldn't handle it. So he went and got his other members. I hit them with the switch too. So they all getting ready to go down in this video. I got out, hopped out with the switch, and I got them all on the same instance, so to speak. But he couldn't handle it, so he tagging people or whatever, and then he rejected my peace offering. I said, I want to, show you some things, inshallah ta'ala, for the sake of Allah, of me and you. You know what I mean? Maybe I've been doing tabligh and Dawah to the Salafi minhaj for probably since 2009 or 10, and they reject the hidayah. They reject it. So he rejected it. He said, "Nah, I'm cool." Like, how you can reject nasiha? Did the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam not say that the deen is nasiha? So, that's not really that is a shot at the Salafi minhaj, because most of the people that I talk to, they don't care what you say. You can prove it to them. You can put it right in their face. And they always say, we only follow the Dalil, brother. We don't follow Imam Abu Hanifa. We don't follow Imam Malik, brother. We follow the Dalil. And it's as if you qualify to even know what the Dalil is. But when I show you the Dalil, you be like, oh, well, where that come from? That's inauthentic. That's weak. That's what Albani used to do. Albani was the biggest innovator out of the Wahhabis themselves, besides Ibn Abdul Wahhab, who started the whole Wahhabi movement. But when something doesn't agree with the Wahhabi Salafi doctrine, the first thing that they do is attack its authenticity, and they do it with false usuli principles. And I'm working on a series to decode the lack of scholarship with Al-Albani. He's a sophisticated individual. He's a very, very smart guy. So it ain't, you can't just come at him with a live reaction video like I'm doing with these guys. These guys is, they pups out here in the field of knowledge. But yeah, I'm working on that. So y'all stay tuned for that too. And if y'all liking this on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna keep this type of content coming, inshallah ta'ala. And y'all definitely make dua that I'm being sincere and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the tawfiq to reach the people appropriately. So let's jump into the video. First and foremost, I want to prove to y'all that it's incorrect. You should not be spewing false knowledge. And if somebody pull you to the side and say that you said or did something wrong on Facebook, you should give that person the time of day. At least see where they're coming from. And if they start making a point, then it's up to you to make tawbah. And you should make tawbah publicly. This is the sunnah. This is the way of the salaf. The salaf would see that they did something wrong and be like, hey, y'all, I was incorrect about this. This is the correct position. Or I said this, and now my position is changing. This is the way of the Salaf. Imam Ash'ari, rahmatullah alayhi, he did it. He was on the wrong path for 40 years, and he kept pushing, with sincerity until in 40 years of his life. And everybody knew him to be, belonging to one of the deviant sects. And he went during Jum'ah and publicly made tawbah and publicly told everybody, I'm going with Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I'm no longer going to belong to this deviant sect. So this is the Sunnah. And then he became one of the greatest, if not the greatest, imams of Aqidah ever. So it ain't a shot against your ego. It ain't a shot against who you are and your brand and your YouTube monetization and your Instagram monetization. You should be worried about your monetization from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. So let's get into it. There's an ayah in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَلَا تَقْفُوا مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادُ كُلُّ أُولَئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. Sadaqallahul Azim. Do not pursue that which you do not know. Indeed, your hearing, your sight, and your heart, all of them will be questioned on the Qiyamah. So that's number one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala I told you to stay away from things that you have no knowledge of. And I'm gonna be making a point, circling back around, speaking on things. So our scholars say, as a matter of fact, I found an athar. This is in tafsir. That was Surah 17, ayah 36, and the tafsir of that ayah is from Tafsir Ibn Kathir, and one of the tafsir, Ali ibn Abi Talha, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, said that Ibn Abbas, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, said, this means do not say anything which you do not have any knowledge of. We got two Sahabi. Y'all keep saying, what did Allah say? Okay, we got what Allah said. Y'all keep saying, don't tell me what Imam Abu Hanifa said. Tell me what the Sahaba said. Well, we got two eminent Sahabi right here. Two eminent. They don't get no bigger. So here's your evidence. Here's your dalil. You say you don't follow Abdul Kabir Muhammad al-Maliki, al-Ash'ari. You don't follow Imam Ash'ari. You don't follow Imam Malik. You don't follow nobody other than Allah and His Messenger. Even if the Sahaba go wrong against the Salafis. I done had Salafis tell me, I don't follow the Sahaba. They ain't infallible either. I follow the Prophet and the Quran. Well, it ain't like you understand what the Prophet said and what the Quran said more than the Sahaba. So you got to follow the Sahaba, certain ones anyway. So there's some Sahabi for you, since that's what they like. They like the leader. You don't want to hear what the Sahaba said? Here's what the Prophet ﷺ said. It's a long hadith. I'm not going to read it in Arabic, so I can keep this video as short as possible. The Prophet ﷺ, and this is Sahih. This is in Sahih Muslim. The links on it vary. If anybody needs the exact link that I have, I will post it in the comments, inshallah ta'ala, or in the link in the description of this video. The Prophet ﷺ said, it is obligatory for you to tell the truth, for truth leads to virtue, and virtue leads to paradise. And the man who continues to speak the truth and endeavors to tell the truth is eventually recorded as truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all of that. I mean, that dua that I just made was not part of the hadith. We're picking back up on the hadith. And beware of telling a lie, for telling a lie leads to obscenity, and obscenity leads to the hellfire. And the person who keeps telling lies and endeavors to tell a lie is recorded as a liar with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we see what's at stake here. We got evidence from the Quran, we got evidence from the hadith, and we got evidence from the athar, the time of the Sahaba. This is evidence every way, shape, form, and fashion that you can take it. Now, we got the evidence that you should not be speaking without knowledge. We got the evidence that speaking it without knowledge is lying, equivocally, it is lying. And we have the evidence of the reward and the punishment for speaking without knowledge, i.e., lying. That's pretty much what that is. And that's in the fiqh. So I want to show y'all an example of this. I have to go through this brother's page. I gotta go through his page so that y'all can okay. All right, so my screen is sharing. Let me go, if I can. I can't see. Okay, let me see. Let me hide that. Go down here. All right. So this is the brother's page. As you can see, he's a card carrying Wahhabi. That's his profile picture. Let's go look at some of the things that he posts. See this here? He's promoting something that's wrong. As we all know, we all have evidence of the Mawlid to Nabi, alayhi salatu wassalam. There's so many hadiths, so many talks. It's never been a problem at any point in Islamic history until the Wahhabis came with Ibn Abdul Wahhab. And here's a post of him posting some propaganda, some more propaganda from some Wahhabi scholar or link. Here's another one, and this is his friend that he tagged. I had to hit him with the switch too. He tagged Ali Gray. So these people are like posing themselves to be people of knowledge. Ustadana. I know they're not claiming to be Sheikhuna, Umamuna. I know they're not doing that, but they're at least posing themselves to be du'ats. They're posing themselves to be men of knowledge, and they're getting a pretty good response and following just from posting a bunch of memes. And this is kind of a meme. He tagged this guy. He couldn't, the Ameriki guy couldn't handle me, and he tagged Ali Grays, and he couldn't handle me either. He just quit it all together. And as you can see, propaganda. No matter how harsh and argumentative and disrespectful some Salafis may seem, we're still obliged to follow a Salafiyah. See, they just spitting out and regurgitating these words, these trigger words, and look, based on proof from the Quran and the Sunnah, as if y'all are usuliyun that have the knowledge of proof via Quran and Sunnah. That science is the hardest thing to learn on the planet Earth. There's nothing more difficult to learn, as if you can review it yourself. And that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. based on the proof from the Quran, as soon as they let the behavior discourage you from following the truth, yeah, whatever. Look, this is supposed to be, this is more wrong propagation. This is supposed to be uh, a book that was written by Imam Ash'ari. It was changed. It was plagiarized. We don't really have the original copy. This is what the Ash'aridas are saying. But, and we've told them this, but they're insistent on spreading wrong knowledge. They're insistent on speaking about things that they don't know, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. They are guilty of lying. We already done told them that that is not the original Ibana from Imam Ash'ari. There's remnants of it in there, and we have remnants of it. But we can certify what we believe and what we don't believe with unbroken chains. The chain to this is broken. We can't verify where parts of it came from. So we already then told them that that is not the original book of Imam Ash'ari, but they still lie and use it as propaganda to go against Imam Ash'ari and try to smear the Ash'ari in a bad image and a bad light. That is deception. That is deception and is haram. Let's just making some personal posts. There's a post. I have to find my post, and I want to show y'all how comical this stuff actually is. All right, so this was my post. He couldn't handle what I was hitting him with. He was talking all about Allah banny this, Allah banny that, and then this was the beef. The beef was, so him and my wife was kind of having a thing going back and forth, whatever. So and he always be calling me out. I don't know why. I think he was like interested in my wife before once before, and I think it made him mad that I married her and he didn't. But I didn't know him. He wasn't engaged to her or nothing. But I think so I think it's a little simpism in here because he always coming for her. She can handle her own, but when she busting him down, he'd be like, "Oh, where your husband at?" And I don't be paying it no attention. Me and him just became friends as a result of this beef. So on Facebook. So she showed me. It was like, man, dude, he calling you out. I'm like, what? I'm looking at what he's saying. Ah, man, that's easy. That's light work. So I jump on there, and I told him, I was like, listen, bring me a hadith that has a chain, or bring me one of your scholars that have an unbroken chain back to the time of the Salah. We do. We have a hadith. We have isnad, we have a hadith and we have teachings that we can trace all the way back to the Prophet Sallallahu with without a broken chain. We can trace it back to the tabi'in, and to the ashab, and ultimately to the Prophet Sallallahu. We can do that. I've been asking every Salafi and every Wahhabi, bring me y'all's version of that, an unbroken chain, like y'all belief system, y'all's madhab, and they say they don't have a madhab, but they have a minhaj. Okay, y'all take y'all's minhaj and give me an unbroken chain of people and events in your madhab. Ours come directly out of the ahadi. I don't even have my books out here with me, but if you look at, I'm a Maliki, you look at the Muwatta, simple. Look at the Musnad of Imam Shafi'i, simple. Look at the Fiqh al-Akbar, the Musnad inside of the Musnad of Imam Abu Hanifa and Fiqh al-Akbar. Look at the Musnad of Imam Ahmad. Those are the four Imams. They both have Aqidah, and it has fiqh inside of those books. That's what we follow. That is the epitome of following the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. And then we have abridged books that are based off of those. Those are the Magnus Opus, however you're supposed to say that in plurally, Magnus Opus. I don't know. Y'all correct me on that. But those are the foundational books for the Madhahibi, for Aqidah and for Fiqh. And all those ahadith come with those ahadith, the statements of all of the four imams, all of that stuff. If y'all ever take time to look at it, we all got unbroken chains that go through the three blessed generations all the way back to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. That's what we following. That's what we own. Now, bring when y'all say the Maulid is not correct and y'all say Tawassul is not correct, even though we have a hadith that supports Tawassul. It's in the collection of Imam Nawawi. And what are the oh, something was wrong with Imam Nawawi's Aqidah. But he has a long story short, I asked that brother to do that for me. We can do it. Ours, you can Google it, you can find it, whatever. Everybody knows. Where is y'all's? And I've even offered money to any of the Wahhabiyah to do this for me, and none of them have ever been able to do it, and none of them ever will do it. When you hit them in the when you hit them with that body shot like that, all they're gonna do is resort to personal slurs. You're a deviant. You're a dog. A man who sleeps with his wife's mother is better than an Ash'ari. That's all they're gonna do is throw personal attacks and slurs. Nothing academic, nothing whatsoever. And that's all they did. So he posted for me, and this was going to be comical when I asked him to do it. This is my screenshot, and I circled it for him to show him. So when I asked him to do that, it took him 3 months. I asked him this 3 months ago. It took him 3 months, and he just responded. He tagged my wife. He tagged me, and he posted a bunch of random names. Wallahi, random names of big shuyukh, big aima, all throughout the history of Islam, going back to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. And then he posted this weird thing where he showed a hadith from various of scholars from that list. Big problem. Number one, he doesn't understand the science of isnad, and neither does his friend Ali Graves, whatever. I just shot straight for the head, straight for the head. I didn't want to bust his head because we typing. I didn't want to bust his head and tell him, number one, brother, all those people in that assignee, all of them except for two or three of them belong to Madahib. So if you say that this is your chain of narration for evidence of y'all's belief systems, then you have put yourself in the chain of the of the Shafi'is, the Shafi'is, the Hanbalis, and the Hanafis and the Malikis. You put yourself in us. So that means you're us. That's not your own chain. That's not a chain going from Ibn Abdul Wahhab all the way back to the Prophet, and he don't have one. So I went straight for the kill, and I peeped that he put Al Albani and Ibn Abdul Wahhab in this chain. Huge mistake. And I know a bunch of the Salafis and Wahhabis gonna come on this and be like, oh well, he just didn't know and da 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 woo. This is why I'm making this video, because the Salafis are promoting people to spread this ignorance and to spread this filth. So I put a screenshot up and explained to him, uh, uh, it is impossible that Al Albani would have been in the same chain as Ibn Abdul Wahhab, because he saw Ibn Abdul Wahhab to be a person who had no knowledge of hadith. And here's the evidence. This is his statement. You can find the video of him saying it on YouTube. So he had his head busted, and he screenshotted my screenshot and said, does anybody have this book, and can you send me the page in Arabic, and blah 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 blah. uh, I like the post, and look, boom, here's me, Mr. Abdul Kabir Al Maliki. I sent him the whole entire link with the whole, and I told him who was the person who said this about him, who narrated it, the whole nine. So he can't deny it at all whatsoever, even though he did. Sent him the link. But this was so that was the fallout of the actual problem. I want to show y'all what is comical. He was on a rant with all of this stuff. Look, more stuff about Taqlid. Go check out the latest video I just dropped on Taqlid as well, going against Uthman Ibn Farouk. Where is it at? I hope he did not take it down. Look at all this Salafi, Al-Albani, Salafi. I gotta find this post. It was comical. That's not the post. Look, I am a Salafi, Sheikh Albani by Muhaddith Sheikh Alama Muhammad Nasiruddin. Look at this stuff. This is hilarious. Uh, the scholars are not a proof in themselves. They are only clarifiers of the proof. This is all dalala. Dal and mudil. Let me find the post. He made a lot of posts that day. He posted a fake isnad. Okay, I think this is it right here. And yeah, here it is. So when I asked him for a sanad for the Wahhabiyya, this was the sanad that he put up. Look at this stuff. Like he put Imam Abu Hanifa. They don't believe what Imam Abu Hanifa did. Khatibul Baghdadi. They put him in there. They don't believe what he did. They put Ibn Qudama, Ibn Taymiyyah. They don't believe what them guys believe. Dhahabi was a Shafi'i. Shatibi was a major Maliki. And they love to say Ibn Abdul Aziz. Obviously, he was a Hanafi. He put Suyuti in there. Suyuti Shafi'i. Hafiz Ibn Hajar Shafi'i. He nuts, man. This guy's nuts. Okay, so check out what else we got going on here. And then look what he did. He put Muhammad Nasiruddin Al-Albani. This was not a chain. He didn't take from a Saudi. And this was not a chain. So he said the chain was Al-Albani to a Saudi and to Ibn Abdul Wahhab. This is a false chain. This Safarani to Suyuti to Hajar al-Asqalani. This is not a chain. This is comical. This is comical. And this is sad. There's a lot of people who might have seen this post, and all these people got misguided. And he copy and pasted this from some institute. And these are various hadiths and statements that these illustrious shuyukh, except for Ibn Abdul Wahhab and Al-Albani, have said. But let's look at this. He has a link at the bottom of this. And y'all can tag him if y'all want. I want him to see it. He didn't want to talk to me, so. See, look, it says this right here. This can he copy and posted this from the Salafis of Florida Yahoo group with slight edits and modifications made for readability purposes. Is readability a word? Islam ilm knowledge Salafila Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah historical usage of the word Salaf. This is all copy and pasted. This is hilarious that he thinks that this is and it's not. This is hilarious, y'all. So I'm showing y'all exactly what he said so that y'all know that it's not slander. This is actually truth, and it is very, very, very funny that he thinks that this isn't a sanad. And what's even more funny is let me turn this off if I can. Okay, so what's even more funny is that he thought that when I asked him for a sanad for what he believes, here's your belief tenet, and where's the sanad, the unbroken chain going back to the Salaf and the Prophet, alayhi salatu salam. He went and Googled something and found something from some deviant organization in Florida, copied it, pasted it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the deen of Islam. That is not the deen of Islam. We're not copy and pasters. You go sit with the sheikh who is approved by one of the four schools of law, or by one of the three, and by one of the three approved schools of Aqidah, the Maturidiyya, the Ash'ariyya, and the Hanabila. That's it. The whole and all of Islam lives inside of the four madhabs, the Hanafis, the Malikis, the Shafi'is, and the Hanabila. And all of Aqidah lives within the Maturidiyya, the Ash'ari and the Hanabila. I say this because, and there's gonna be some people that jump in the comments and be like, "This dude is a fool. He thinks that all of Islam is in this." No, no, no. All of Islam is. You find me one hadith book that didn't, and the presenter of the hadith book was not an adherent of these schools. You find me one. You find me one. And I ain't talking about Al-Albani. He didn't write a hadith book. He rewrote the hadith books that already exist. You find me one. Every single one of them follow the madhab in fiqh, and they follow the madhab in aqidah. Period. There are no hadith books that you'll be able to go to and find a Salafi version of it. The Salafis didn't exist until Ibn Abdul Wahab came. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but hey, the haq is the haq, the truth is the truth. So I don't want to embarrass the brother. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or none of that, but he made all that stuff public. Our conversation was public, and he's publicly misguided. Him and people like him are misguiding people purposely, and I warn against them, and I warn against that. And to the viewers, if it does not come from one of the four schools of law or one of the three schools of Aqidah, don't take it. Do not take it. Don't take from Ibn bin Baz, Ibn Abdul Wahab, Uthaymin, Madkhal, and the whole bunch. None of it. If it has Salafi on it, if it has any of those names on it, stay far away from it. It's going. That is stuff is sinful. You see right here in the hadith, it said that if you keep lying, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to write you off as a liar, and that's how you're going to appear on the day of Qiyamah as a liar. As a liar. That is not the stuff, that is not the belief from the time of the Sahaba. That is not the belief from the time of the Salaf. It's a lie. And the Salafi Imams and all of the Ustads and all of their teachers and their propagators and their du'ats, they all know this. But they don't care because they make a ton of money off of all the millions of views that they get on the internet with this controversy. They're not teaching nobody fiqh. They're barely teaching. They're not teaching people aqidah. When they teaching you aqidah, when they say follow the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf, go to the time of the Salaf. Go to the time of the Salaf. Let me see if I can pull something else up. I'm sharing my screen. Let me see. I know y'all not going. I know y'all going not going to look this stuff up yourselves. So let me just show y'all. Okay, this is just a simple Google search. Oh, this is a nice diagram. Okay, let me share my screen again. Bear with me for a second. How do I bring it? Okay, let me bring it back up. Okay. Check this out. Check out this diagram. If they when I'm telling y'all, when they say follow the Quran and the Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf, that's the only thing that the Salafi minhaj teachers have ever said that is correct. Look at this. This is the time of the Salaf, y'all. You don't see Al-Albani's name here. You don't see Ibn Baz's name here. You don't see Ibn Abdul Wahhab's name here. You don't even see Ibn Taymiyyah's name. You don't even see his name. What I follow, what the four schools, what the adherents of the four schools follow, and what the adherents of the three schools of Aqidah follow is this. They were this close. Look at this. Abu Hanifa is in the second generation. Some argue that he was a Tabi'i because he met a Tabi'i. He met the last living Tabi'i. Look at this. 70 Hijra. Look at Imam Malik. 90, 93 Hijra. This is second century Islam. Look at Imam Shafi'i, and which was Imam Malik's student. He was the 3rd century Islam, and so was Imam Ahmad. Look at this. This is the Salaf right here. This is the era of the Salaf. You don't find these guys. What we're following is this stuff. Listen. Let me break it down. I'm overheating. Ahmad ibn Hanbal, one of his chains is Ahmad ibn Hanbal is from Shafi'i from Malik. Malik's people were all of the scholars of Medina. All of the scholars of Medina. He had ijazah from over 900 people in 900 imams and shuyukh in Medina who belonged to the tabi'in. Huh? It doesn't get that if we are the epitome of the Quran and Sunnah according to the way of the Salaf. We are the epitome of it, not those guys. And I'm sick of them stealing the show. This is what I mean when I say follow them. So, moral of the story: follow. Find one of the 4 schools of fiqh and one of the 3 schools of aqidah and learn that. Stay away from that stuff in Saudi Arabia and anybody who's associated with the Salafi minhaj. Stay away from that stuff. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't want our people to go to Jahannam for learning lies and then reposting lies on Facebook via memes and YouTube shorts and so on and so forth. Follow the haqq. Follow the actual salaf. Don't follow these guys who claim to be the salaf. Ibn Taymiyyah wasn't even in that. He actually belongs to the khalaf. He doesn't belong to the salaf. So that's just some things to think about. I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate y'all time. If y'all watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, like, share, subscribe, share this. Let's get this type of material out. Let's create the proper algorithm on mass media. Media is the biggest way that everybody is learning their deen and their Islam from. If anybody wants to be hooked up, I can put you on in my online courses that I take. They'll take you from A to Z. I belong to the Institute of Nabugiyya, and it's on-demand learning classes. If anybody wants the link, I can put the link. As a matter of fact, I'll put the link in the description of this video. If you want to learn, they'll take you from A to Z. And we have unbroken chains back to the actual Salaf, back to the actual Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam. Nothing made up. We're doing the same old thing that the Sahaba was doing. Nothing new, no bid'ah. So y'all like, share, subscribe, inshallah ta'ala. I love y'all all for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.